These highlights are brought to you by Lynch Homes, building homes of distinction.
This afternoon we're at Melrose for the Premier 1 clash between Ayr and Melrose. 4 months ago this pair met at Murrayfield in the cup final. Ayr took the spoils that day. Melrose will be out for revenge. They both won their league opener last week. There's a lot hanging in this one, I can tell you.
No scoring after 15 minutes. Ayr on the attack inside the Melrose half. Ross Curl out to John Crossan taken out by John Dial, and referees spotted something there, but Ayr neat hands out to Gordy Reid. Don't need that. Penalty right in front of the post. Ross Curl, no problem, banging it through there. 3-0 to Ayr after 15 minutes. Line out in exactly the same place. Great take there by Ayer's Andy Dunlop. And they look as though they're up to something here. They are forwards. My goodness, look at that drive. You don't often see that these days at this level. But I tell you what, this gets the crowd on their feet. They're going on and on and on, and Melrose just cannot stop it. Finally the ball coming out there. Jamie Hunter out to Ross Curl. Curl to Mark Stewart. Stewart sensing a wee gap, gets away from Craig Jackson, going all the way. Yep, in for the try despite Callum Anderson's tackle. First try of the afternoon, and the big centre certainly enjoyed that one. Restart there. John Dale getting up for that one, knocking it back. Richard Ferguson not quite getting a hand to it. Craig Jackson does, but also collects Mark Stewart at the same time. Pinched there by Glenn Tippett. Gordy Reid fending off the tacklers. Jamie Stewart out to Ross Curl, off his left foot, heading for the line, cuts inside. Hunter backing up there. Is he going to make the line? Yes, over he goes despite Callum Anderson's tackle again. That was a beauty. Ross Curl, no problem with this one. 15-0, what a 4-minute spell for Ayr. 15 points. And they looked as though they were cruising, but then they lost Scott Nimmo, yellow card, 14 men. Melrose, they were always going to take advantage of that one. Scott White tidying up, pretty fractured looking ball there. John Dial slinging it back. Graham Dodds, Jamie Murray jinking through the Ayr defence up to about 10 metres from the line, laying it back. Rob Christie, Dodds again. And oh, this one now, what a beautiful wee pass from Grant Runciman to Alan Dodds, and in for a terrific score. Really slick hands from the Melrose boys to get that one. Long 22 dropout by Ayr, but Melrose all ready to counter-attack. Up onto the 10-metre line. Christie out to White. John Dial coming back in on the angle. Stopped there by Scott Forrest. Back on the Melrose side. Big number 8, Ross Miller, thumping on there. Laying it back. Christie again, the link man. And the ball being worked down the right. And Fraser Thompson, oh, look at the Melrose fullback go. Great break. And Callum Anderson on his inside to take the pass. Another peach of a try for Melrose, and they're right back in the game with Scott White's conversion, bringing the margin back to only 3 points. And Melrose certainly making Ayr pay for being a man short, and no mercy shown as they go into half-time.
Scrum Magazine. Subscribe online at scrummagazine.com.
These highlights are brought to you by Lynch Homes, building homes of distinction.
Into the second half, and 7 minutes gone. Ayr, scrappy one at the line out there, tidied up by Stephen Adair, out to Ross Curl, looking for a wee gap, not quite finding it, but setting it up there. And the man taking it on, Damien Kelly, the big man himself, back in action for Ayr. Now it's Hunter, now it's Reid, Now it's a couple of big tackles from Melrose, but Glenn Tippett this time up to Stuart Fennick. Ripped out there again by Tippett, bouncing off a couple of tackles, heading up towards the Melrose line, laying it back. Hunter, Currow, and out to Mark Bennett. Bennett, oh, lovely wee show there, half break and brilliantly taken by Grant Anderson. That was a cracker set up by the young 17-year-old centre Mark Bennett. 8 points adrift, and Melrose were never going to lie down. John Dalziel setting it up there, well taken by Richard Ferguson. And oh, lovely ball there to Fraser Thompson again. Big threat to the air defence. And good link ball out to Gary Holborn, and yes, here running out of tacklers. And Callum Anderson in for his second try of the afternoon to bring Melrose right back into the game. 9 minutes to go, and all the pressure on Ayr. Pick up and drive there by Ross Miller off the back. And this now was all about two things. It was all about Melrose patience and Ayr discipline. Melrose knowing that if they kept the ball in the danger zone, the score would very likely come. Ayr knowing that they had to keep their discipline, otherwise they'd give that score away. Kieran Cooney having a wee dip up there. And finally it was Melrose patience that ran out and Ayr discipline that held, because referee Graham Knott spotted the offence and Ayr got the penalty to clear. Clock's running down, picked up at the back there by Andy Dunlop. Oh, and a steal there by Scott McCormick. Big chance here for Jamie Murray. Wee knock back, still tidies it up, gets away from Cammy Taylor. And oh, that's opening up for him there, but Taylor getting back to save the day for Ayr. Melrose piling in. John Dalziel opening it up. Ross Miller, no way past Andy Kelly and Scott Forrest. Melrose still happy to go through the phases. Scott McCormick, Scott White, Callum Anderson, taken out by AJ McFarlane. The Ayr defence pretty solid here. Melrose desperate to unpick them just once more. That would take them into the lead. Ball into midfield. John Dalziel taken out again by Scott Forrest. Solid man in the Ayr defence. Scott White. The ball going out to Ben Allen. But crossing there's the referee Graham Knott. Penalty to Ayr. And that's all happening in the last few minutes. Ayr unable to get out of the danger zone. Melrose keeping the pressure on. Ayr determined to run the clock down. Driven away there by prop Gordy Reid. Damien Kelly, Stephen Adair in there, looking for it. Driving away again. Keeping possession and having to keep their discipline. There's the clock getting very, very close to full time. Graham Knox keeping a very close eye on this one. And is it a turnover for Melrose? Well, they're trying to stop it, and in doing so, held on too long. Scott White with the final kick of the game to tie the scores. It looked good, but it dropped short and wide. And that ended a miserable afternoon with a boot for the Melrose number 10, because that was the final whistle. Ayr winners 20 points to 17.
Wanted to play into the wind in the first half, but we didn't do that, and played with it. Got up 15-5, I think it was at half time, and knew we were going to have to dig deep in the second half, and a couple of injuries and I suppose crucial positions sort of didn't help that, and we dug deep and come away with the win. 2017 against Melrose, we'll take that anytime. So yeah, very happy.
So Ayr make it 2 out of 2, but Melrose pick up what could be an invaluable bonus point from this clash at Millbrae. There's only 9 games left before the split. This is going to be some Premier 1 season. This is Ron Evans for Scottish Rugby Television at Millbrae.
These highlights are brought to you by Lynch Homes, building homes of distinction.